And welcome to the September 13th, 2015 edition of Decision 2016 Digest. I'm your host, Scott Jones. This is the place where we work hard to bring you the top policy and political and election headlines of the week in 15 minutes or less. So let's get right into it. You know, we spent a lot of time talking about Hillary Clinton, but this week it's been all Donald Trump, and not necessarily in a good way. Donald Trump decided this week, and as you know, he's been picking at Rick Perry and Jeb Bush and this and that and the other. He reached a new low in his rhetoric and attacks on his fellow GOP candidates, where he went all, I will call it, junior high playground. Yes, he decided he was going to set his sights on the only woman candidate in the GOP side of the race, Carly Fiorina. And boy, did he go there. And despite that, he's tried to walk it back, but I'll let it be set up by USA Today. Take a look at this video clip that talks about exactly what he said, and we'll come back and talk about it. Here you go.
In the Rolling Stone cover story, Trump comments on Fiorina while watching her on TV. "Look at that face," the magazine quotes Trump as saying. "Would anyone vote for that?" According to the magazine, Trump went on to say, "I mean, she's a woman, and I'm not supposed to say bad things, but really, folks, come on, are we serious?"
Yep, there you go. Take a look at that face. Carly Fiorina, who is a female CEO of the largest technology company in the world. And if you can see by my graphic up there, when's the last time Mr. Trump took a little peek in the mirror? Look at whose face, Donald? But I'm going to tell you, it was very, very junior high and very over the top. And, you know, I don't wish any ill will on Donald Trump, but if you're going to be president of the United States and the leader of the free world on the world stage, you might want to keep your little high school antics to yourself. I continue to submit the only person that's going to be the undoing of Donald Trump is going to be Donald Trump itself. And kudos to Carly Fiorina, who kind of played it cool. She responded without really responding. She didn't fire back at him, but suggested on Megyn Kelly's show that, you know, she's been rising in the polls too, and maybe that's getting under his skin a little bit. But yes, it was the Rolling Stone. He should know better. And the whole misogynistic put downs and all of this good kind of stuff, I think he ought to keep in the old desk drawer there, Donald. And what really was disappointing to me is he goes out and likes to say he's not a politician, but he crossed that line of responding like a politician instead of being honest, which has been his attraction, by saying he was talking about her persona. Not buying it, folks. It was junior high, and shame on you, Donald Trump. But Donald's not the only one who made a misstep this week. Ben Carson, who, by the way, is now nationally and certainly in Iowa in the number 2 position and gaining on Mr. Trump, in a moment took a reporter's bait question about comparing himself to Donald Trump based on faith. And unfortunately, Carson suggested he was a little holier than thou than Donald Trump and kind of questioned his faith. Now, he regretted it, and he's also apologized for it, but it's very worth noting that everybody was talking about Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Rand Paul, all of that. The top 2 leaders in the early primary states and even in national polls right now are Donald Trump out in first, Ben Carson gaining on him. He's risen precipitously since the August 6th debate on Fox. And right behind him is Carly Fiorina in the national polls. So it's continuing to go well for those 3 candidates. I know it's early. The polls don't mean a lot, but it's real interesting how the race is shaking out, and that is gravitating toward outsider-type candidates, meaning they don't hold office in Washington now and never have. Unfortunately for some, and I like Rick Perry, his campaign ran out of gas, and as of Friday, he suspended his presidential campaign. You know what? He gave it his best shot. I have met Rick Perry in person. I know him to be a good and decent man. He just could not catch fire this time, and I think was still handicapped by the missteps of the 2012 campaign. We wish Rick Perry well, but we've gone from 17 to 16 with Rick Perry withdrawing on Friday. On the Hillary Clinton front, you know, I'd put out a video short. If you hadn't seen it on my channel, it's only 32 seconds. You ought to look at it, called Hillary Reboot 3.0. Literally, people in her campaign talked to the New York Times and said that they were going to see a Hillary with more heart, a Hillary with more authenticity, and that she was going to be more spontaneous, okay? Now, how do you do planned spontaneity, okay? They literally said they're going to plan more spontaneity. And I'm going to tell you, it looks forced. She tried a couple of things this week. It just continues to look forced. In a video clip in my little funny on Hillary Reboot 3.0, there's a CNN clip in there that reports that she's down 10 points nationally and struggling. And that whole server thing that we've been talking about continues to dog her. There's a staffer that set up her server that worked at the State Department. He went before the Benghazi committee for a deposition this week and pled the fifth. It never looks good when somebody who works for you has to plead the fifth for fear of going to jail for telling the truth. It's his constitutional right, but it just adds more smoke, if not flames, to the fire of the whole Hillary email server thing. Stay tuned, but irrespective of the email server thing, the more and more people are hearing Hillary, easier for you to say, the less and less they like her. And of course, the other dark cloud over Hillary is President Biden continues to ponder whether to jump in the race or not. He was on Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show. He's made a couple of appearances, and God loving, he's a Democrat. I don't subscribe to his policies, but I think Joe Biden is a good and decent man. He's a fun-loving man. Everybody who knows him likes him. He's still struggling with his eldest son's death, and just don't see his heart in it. Beltway insiders say he's going to make the leap. I don't see it, but stay tuned for that, because that is one of Hillary's worst nightmares, secondarily only to being indicted over national security issues having to do with her email server. In the other news, real quickly, I've been yammering on about the CNN debate. Well, folks, it's this Wednesday. I believe it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then the main event is 7 p.m. Eastern. Tune in, see all the candidates. Carly Fiorina is going to be on it. That is a little news nugget. They changed the polling rules to include her, to reward her for her rise since the Fox News debate on August 6th. So instead of knocking someone out, they added an 11th spot. But I'm telling you, her polls are rising, and she occupies probably the 4th or 5th spot now with the latest polling. So great that Carly's going to be in on that. So don't miss it Wednesday night. Also, the Iran nuke deal continues to be a train wreck. The Republican majority elected, in my view, continues to let us down by not playing smart with all of the things that are going on in the Obama administration. This is going to be a mess. There's nothing we can do about it. They're not going to have a veto-proof majority to override this Iran deal, and we're going to pay for it down the road. Hopefully we get a different president who is not worried about their legacy and puts the national security interest of the United States before their own legacy. On Pop's radio show tomorrow, www.the405media.com, tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern, John Grant, our president and program manager, is going to join me, and we're going to discuss and preview all of the candidates for Wednesday's debate on CNN. So I hope you'll join us in. Okay, we wrapped it up a little faster this week than we have. I think we're getting a little better, but those are the top policy and politics headlines of the week. So hopefully hopefully you're all caught up. Be sure and watch the debate Wednesday night. I think the more informed you are, the better off you are. Also, if you like what we're doing here and appreciate the effort, give this video a big thumbs up, or even better yet, subscribe to the channel. It lets me know you appreciate the effort that we're putting out here to bring this news to you. Also, down in the description is the link to the radio show, popsradioshow.com. Also to the station, which is my home base, the 405media.com. You can listen streaming there on Monday mornings at 10. Also, a great deal from audible.com. I give my listeners and viewers the hookup. If you would like a free month's trial and your first book downloaded free from audible.com, hit the link down there below. Only for my listeners and viewers. The audible.com trial link is down there, and you can get that free month and free download. That's it for this week. We'll be working hard all week long to bring you the headlines for next week's show. Until then, stay tuned, stay alert, get involved. Until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.